What is up, everybody, and welcome to Season 2 of the After Dark podcast. I'm your host, CH.
I'm Crimson.
And today we're going to be talking about music. Everybody listens to music, everybody likes music. If you don't, what is wrong with you? So we're going to talk about our favorite bands, some one-hit wonders, some honorable mentions for our favorite bands, just songs we listen to, this, that, and the other. I'm going to throw it over to Crimson, and he will start with his top 3 bands.
Right, so before I start, I just want to point out that both CH and I are very avid lovers of music. So even though this might be our top favorite bands or artists and honorable mention, this is only just not even really scratching the surface of what we all really love. So my top 3, if I had to go in order, is probably Highly Suspect. Second would be Cage the Elephant, and third would be Suicide Boys.
Why do you like them?
I really like them because my little thing right now, I really enjoy the like dark trap rap kind of era. So I listen to a lot of like Suicide Boys, Lil Darky. I just love that kind of like heavy, more of a, how do I say it, like intense, like impulsive type of music. You know, like it's pretty intense music. They say some things that are like drug related or fighting related. It's just kind of more of the beat of everything.
Just music you just turn your brain off and listen to. I went through a phase like that. I really like Zillakami and City Morgue when I was listening to that type of music, but I kind of fell out of it. I got to get into like a mood to listen to that sort of like dark trap rap.
Yeah, that was my biggest thing for several months at a time, but recently I've been listening to a lot of like alt, a lot of indie, and so that's one big reason why Cage the Elephant is there. I've heard Cage the Elephant, the probably their most popular song to this day since it came out is Ain't No Rest for the Wicked.
Yeah, the Borderlands theme song.
Yep, which I actually never heard originally from that. I think it was through a meme, or I think somebody showed it to me, but they showed me other songs like Cigarette Daydreams. And so I made me listen to their older albums, and to this day I still listen to a lot of their songs. And my favorite song by them right now is probably Cold Cold. So if you haven't heard that before, I definitely check it out. Now I believe CH, you got three bands and artists that you picked as well.
Okay, yeah. So my first band, my favorite band of all time, is Tool. My second band of all time is Tool, and my third one is A Perfect Circle. I'm just kidding. My first one is
Tool Jr.
Yeah, they're all the same singer. No, my first favorite band of all time would definitely be Tool. I really love all Tool songs. They don't have like, well, there's a couple of songs that a majority of people listen to that I don't really listen to, just because I'm not like real big on them. I think they're kind of like overrated, and it's ironic because they have so many good songs that are just like amazing, and then the most popular songs they have is like 46 and 2, which I think is about addiction, and what is that song called? Fuck, I just had it.
Sober.
Yeah, Sober. I think that one's about addiction. And Schism. Schism is a really overrated one in my opinion, and those are like my least favorite. If you want my favorite Tool song, I'll give you 3 in order. So my first one would be Rosetta Stoned, for sure. Rosetta Stoned is an awesome track. I love Rosetta Stoned. I think my second one would be Push It. That's a really powerful song. And my third one would be The Patient, and that one sometimes moves me to tears. It's just, it's so great. It can mean so many different things, because like it could mean like you're waiting for something, like you're being patient. It could mean like a patient like being in the hospital. It could mean so many different things. Like, and that's what I love about all their songs, because it could be about like the songwriter Maynard. He could make the song that has a specific meaning to him, but it could mean anything to anybody, and that's kind of like a more rare thing in today's type of music, where the music scene is dominated by meaningless, bullshit like mumble rap and, just other brands of rap, not even like good rap, like rap back in like the 90s and like early 2000s, that rap had meaning. Now it's just about like drugs, money, women. I have more money than you. I'm cool.
It's all glorifying like gang banging and all the
It's
like if you go back to the 90s rap or like hip hop, it's about dealing with those and like trying to get out of it. And like there's a lot of popular artists that have obviously made it out of those situations, and they've made songs about why do you want to do this, you know. Ice Cube has made quite a few of them. Like he is very against gangbanging, and you know, I think like society definitely is very influenced by it as well.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I think a lot of people want to go for that. I'm a gangbanger. I'm top dog. What's up, G? You know, kind of like mindset. But it's like, yeah, sure, you're cool in the streets. You might act hard, but like, you know, a lot of people usually have problems. That are usually depressed. A lot of drug scenarios. They have friends that are dying left and right, and
yeah, like
obviously that's sad. But you know, like it all goes down to that situation.
If you go on like TikTok or anything, all the like the songs that are used are just like this like trap remix. It either has like an instrumental that's like really heavily edited and like slowed down a lot, and it's kind of like that dark trap stuff. Like it's something that you could just turn your brain off and listen to, but I'm just not really like, I'm not gonna listen to that type of stuff every day. Like there are people out there who exclusively listen to like that type of rap music.
Yeah, but I have family members who do.
Yeah, like that's all they listen to, and it's like, dude, like this might be a controversial opinion, especially if you like that type of music, but you haven't even really listened to real music. If you only listen to that type of thing, and I mean, like, music is music, yeah, and there's gonna be people who are like, oh, if it has instrumental and it has vocals, it's a song. It's like, yeah, you know, technically it's a song, but music is about expressing, you know, something. And all that those people are expressing on their tracks are just how much of a badass they are, how much money they got. Like, it's just like 3 minutes of flexing, and it's like, you can't relate to that. Like, you're working like a 9 to 5 or whatever you're doing, or longer, and it's like most of those songs, they make fun of you for doing that type of stuff. Like,
you got kids to go home to, and you know, you got to go grocery shopping.
It's like most of the songs that like do that, they're all like, yeah, I've never had a job, I sell drugs, I'm cool. And it's like, you can't relate to that type of music. Like, I really like Tool because I could relate to a lot of their songs, and like, you can spin your own narrative on a lot of the songs. Like I said, like, it means something different to you, each song, and it means something different to everybody. And my second favorite band would be Seether. I got into Seether a lot over the last couple of years. Seether's pretty good. I really like their music. I would say my favorite Seether songs would be Driven Under, Like a Suicide, and Betray and Degrade. Those are my top 3. I guess that'd be in order. And then go ahead.
I'm sorry for interrupting, but I got a comment because, yeah, I know. But I also love Seether, and I feel like I just got to do a couple quick mention songs that I love. My favorite one is probably Words as Weapons.
That's a good one, yeah.
Yeah, Nobody Praying for Me.
Another good one. They got a lot of good songs, man.
Yeah, they're an awesome band. I love them, but it's kind of cliche, and it was, I think Amy Lee also partook in it, but Broken.
Yep.
Classic, good vocals, you know, very cliche, but it's cliche for a reason. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. Nothing wrong with it.
So, when it comes to like my favorite songs, I forgot to mention this on the Tool part. My favorite album as a whole is 10,000 Days, for sure. I don't really have a favorite Seether album. I don't listen to them like as religiously as I listen to Tool. So, like, I don't have like a specific album that I really like, but I have a bunch of their songs just like here and there that I listen to. Seether's a really good band. I would say that they're, you know, my second favorite for sure. And my third would probably be Deftones. I was like, Deftones was my favorite band before Tool was. I've been listening to Tool for a couple of years off and on, but over the past like year and a half, 2 years, they're like, I listen to them almost exclusively. Like whenever I want to listen to music, I'll just like throw on This Is Tool on Spotify. I got them like, I got heavily into them these last like 2 years, but I've been listening to them off and on since like 2014 or so. And my top 3 songs by Deftones would be number 1, You've Seen the Butcher. I love that song. I like how it starts off with the heavy riff, and then it just goes into the vocals, and then goes into that classic Deftones style with them, you know, Chino Moreno, or however you say his name, screaming. It's a great song. I'd say my second is Risk. I really like Risk. And then third, I'm gonna have to say it's probably Hole in the Earth. And I know a lot of people who listen to Deftones, their favorite songs are usually like Beauty School and Sex Tape, Diamond Eyes, you know, Drive. I'm more into like Risk, You've Seen the Butcher, and Hole in the Earth. I think those are better. That's just my opinion, man. But those are my 3 favorite bands. Some of my favorite songs by those bands. How about you?
You know, they're all pretty good. I can't say I really listen to Deftones that much. I do a lot of the Spotify like radio, so as you know, or in case you don't know, you want to listen to Tool, you could do This Is Tool. You can listen to specifically Tool songs, or you could do Tool radio. So it's Tool songs, included songs fitting the same category as Tool, same genre. That's usually where I get a lot of new music from. So I hear a lot of Deftones in that. But I'm cliche. I'll say it. Passenger. I love Passenger, the White Pony album.
It's a good one.
But a couple honorable mentions I like to point out. Good bands.
One more thing though about Spotify, you know, I've been paying for Spotify Premium for probably the last 10 years, and I can never go back with the ads. You know, another great thing about Spotify that makes it even better is we are on it. So make sure those of you who are listening go on to Spotify and find us on there, CNC After Dark. That made Spotify way cooler.
Not to mention, this is not advertised, so help us get advertised. Come follow us on Snapchat. Come get us out there. Share it to your friends.
Wait a minute, we have a Snapchat?
No, you know, post on your Snapchat. Followers, drive down your family while they're sleeping. Put on the TV. You know, hold them hostage while you make them listen to CNC After Dark.
Put flyers out.
That's how I get my family to listen.
Put flyers out. Hang them up around your town.
Yep, staple them onto people.
Spray paint it on somebody's property. Just kidding. Don't do that.
Spray paint it on you. Go streaking through a baseball field.
Yes, on live television. Just kidding. Don't do that. We cannot be held responsible. We do not condone any of those actions.
Satirical actions, but theoretically, do that. Don't do that. But just saying.
Can you see me nodding my head? Don't do that. Yes. Do not do that.
I have this condition where I nod up and down.
Yeah. It looks like I'm saying yes, but I'm saying no. Do not go out and do all those things.
Being held hostage. I'm being forced against my will to tell you guys not to do those things. Blink twice for help.
Anyway, what were you saying?
So a couple honorable mentions. You already mentioned City Morgue. City Morgue is a group, and you know I really love City Morgue specifically for the is it Zillakami? I believe.
Zillakami, yeah, I really like him.
Zillakami is just that raspy voice, that like undertone. You know, it's just like it fits into like that like grungy kind of rap.
Yeah, I really like him because some of his songs actually have a lot of meaning to them as well. Like
Godzilla
I know
in the Microwave.
I was talking more about his Black Cats album, where he references about his struggles with depression and stuff and feeling meaningless, and it's like that type of like dark trap music.
Balloons.
I like that.
Definitely pick out Balloons.
Yeah,
that's a good song too. They're only like 2 minutes long, you know, only 2 minutes out of your day. But definitely a good check out. Another popular mention, Blue October. They're sad. Blue October is very sad.
I've actually never heard of them.
Really? I'll show you a couple. I think my favorite one is probably Razor Blade. But there's popular ones like Into the Ocean. Here, let me check real quick just to make sure.
I think you actually did make me, like, when I was sharing my Spotify screen one day, you actually did make me listen to that Razor Blade song, and I don't remember it at all.
It Hate Me Today, Hate Me Tomorrow. That's a pretty big popular one.
The only Hate Me song I ever heard was by D.E.D. Dead.
Oh, I've heard of him, but I actually never checked him out. But
it's a band.
I'm pretty sure I made you listen to Dirt Room, which is obviously another song that I recommend. I love Dirt Room. That was my song before Razor Blade. But I was like, people love Blue October. I want to check it out. One time I was at a buddy's house, and they were in a concert nearby, and I actually heard one of my buddies in the room and echoed into the house. But I decided to check them out. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go to sleep to it. From what I heard, is calm, soothing. And I woke up crying. I was like, tears running down my face. I was like, I've never woke up crying. This man is so sad. But once again, I feel like I should say this for rock as a whole. I remember talking to my older brother before. He's a lot more into the R&B, hip hop, just more of the lyricist side of things, which I will point out, we are fans of rap. There's a lot of good rap out there. Rap is poetry. Just some people use it to flex instead of poetry and what it's meant for.
You know what? I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. Most modern rap is complete shit.
It's pretty much
terrible.
The same thing, different
There's
voice.
nothing poetic about any of the modern music, man. Nothing.
It's all bars. How can I rhyme this? How can I pair it together? It's all
Back
bars.
in the day, for sure. Like, you had, like, Nas and Tupac. I've actually never listened to a lot of Tupac.
Yeah, Biggie.
Yeah, there's another band. It was like a little group.
Talking about fuck the police coming straight from the underground.
No, not W.A.
Ice Cube.
NWA.
Definitely talk about Ice Cube.
I've never heard like a lot of. I have them on my Spotify. I can't remember the names. There's like Bone Thugs and Harmony. Those are really good little rap groups from. Yeah. Well, not little. They were a big deal back then. But I mean, hell, I've even listened to some of Busy Bone's stuff on his own, and it's just it's meaningful. It's meaningful rap. It has a message. It's not like the music nowadays where it's just soulless garbage, because it's all about money now. There's like people they get in this industry for the money, not because they have anything to say. Yeah, just all that fame.
Women are recognized as bitches.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not just, obviously, how would you feel being categorized as bitches? It's, not something you're...
Are you ready to get political? Here we go. They sold their soul to the devil. And all of their music, I want you to go on YouTube and I want you to look up Travis Scott Ritual. You didn't hear it from me. This is not CH. This is an entity. And I'm telling you, go on to YouTube and look up the Travis Scott Ritual. Go down the rabbit hole. It's all evil. They sold their soul.
Hey, I'm back, guys. What's up?
All right, sorry. There's some sort of connection. For some reason, I just...
Yeah, what was that? My TV, like, glitched. Yeah, the recording
my lights started flickering. Cthulhu busted through my window.
Damn.
Had to tap that real quick.
Yeah, that was crazy. I just, woke up a second ago on the floor, and I was like, what?
I know, but back to what I was saying, because now I kind of got off topic a little bit, but rock. He listens to a lot of the lyrics and stuff, and it's good, but he's trying to check out rock and other genres. He isn't too into it, but I'm like, here's the thing with rock. To be honest, a lot of rock artists don't have good voices in the band. They don't have good voices. It doesn't always harmonize the best, but it's all about passion. You can tell the passion, you can tell the feeling in the song. You can tell that they're putting effort, and the song is like a reflection of who they are. Even if it's kind of a joke or whatever, it still plays into the persona of the band, of the artists who are in it. And I think that's what makes rock so wonderful, because it's like an attachment of yourself instead of writing down and trying to make bars on bars or stuff like that. Or you sit down and you're like, pop is a big one. Pop was proven to have beats that alter your brains. Like, you hear these beats and they're gonna sound good to you because just the notes that they use.
Same thing with kids songs too. They do that. They do higher frequencies to cater more to kids. It's all about audience retention.
Yeah, it's like happiness, it brings good things. So I just need to check it out. But rock, it's all feeling like I can't use Seether because Seether has a beautiful voice, but it, big rock bands or metal bands and stuff, like they sound good in most of their songs, but you get that one song where it just completely is like I guess a good example I could use is Nirvana. I love Kurt Cobain's voice, I really do. It's grungy, it's like you can tell he's a bad boy. He's something that you like envy. You're like, he's really cool. But his voice is pretty garbage. It doesn't really sound that good, but he just pairs it all together, and you can tell like that's just what he's into. He's all about the music, and that's what really made Nirvana who they are. On top of Kurt Cobain also quote unquote doing suicide, which he totally didn't. Totally wasn't Courtney.
Yeah, he was
Love.
killed.
Totally.
He was killed by Courtney Love for sure.
Yeah, that's our personal beliefs, but it's listed in the books that he unalived himself. Yeah, sure. But I just think that's one cool thing about rock is that you could tell it's who the people are.
You know who I think has a really good voice, but I never really got into like the band? Chris Cornell. I never got into Audio
like-
Slave.
Is it Audio Slave? Who was
Yeah, I
the
never
lead
got
singer
into
of
them.
Soundgarden?
Chris Cornell.
Oh, you know what I learned today?
What?
Jared Leto, the guy that played Morbius.
Yeah, he's the singer for what is it? Shit.
Is it 30
Falling
Seconds
Under-
to Mars?
Maybe. Yeah, 30 Seconds to Mars. Yeah, that's it. I was gonna say Falling Under Verse. I think that's
Oh,
Ronnie Radke.
It is. I actually was supposed to see them today at the 89.7 River Riot, but it didn't end up happening because of some. I didn't read into the details too much, but I guess Ronnie is going through some medical issues right now.
I've seen his videos on TikTok. He goes crazy. He doesn't give a shit. He goes on there.
I
And
was
he
just
says all
see
kinds
that
of stuff.
too. He does, and I think he does streaming and stuff. So I don't watch it, but I see a lot of clips, and it's pretty funny. I remember seeing him react to one of his last songs. And he's like, "I sound deaf." He's like, "I really sound like you guys just ate that up," and I thought that it was pretty funny. But no, Soundgarden. I've definitely checked out a few of their songs. Nothing too crazy. Same with Soundgarden. They're both great, but I never really got into
You
them.
said Soundgarden twice.
Yep. Soundgarden, Audio Slave. My bad. They're pretty good, but compared to bands like Red Hot Chili Peppers,
Overrated.
yeah, I to a certain degree, I enjoy them a lot, and I know that in a lot of their old songs, they'll be like, just start making weird mouth noises. I actually learned that was to people that were trying to like copy off their songs and replicate it. It's such a distinct part of the music that obviously you couldn't replicate it without people recognizing and stuff like that. And also, Flea, the bass player in the band. Sorry if you heard that. I'm playing with a pen while I'm talking. It helps me focus. But
It's
my
medication for
friend
that.
was. Yep. My friend was at one of the concerts with his mother, and he described it as.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did you say Glee?
Flea?
Oh, Flea.
Yep.
It's like, damn, Glee has concerts, and you know somebody who went to one.
No. My family used to watch Glee, and it was in the living room, so I made sure to never sit in the living room while they were playing it. But the second Flea took off his shirt, he described it as he could tell all the women in the audience were soaking in their pants. I was like, oh, that's great. This was probably when I was like 15 or 16 when I said this, or when I heard that, and he was around the same age as well. But another African band, actually, I think would be a good mention, is D Antwoord. Why?
Diane
Because
Ward, oh man, their music videos are crazy.
I am a pit bull terrier.
Fucking with the ultimate.
I am a pit bull. Yeah, their music videos are crazy. It's like it's weird because they play off as like brother and sister in some videos, and they're like not related. They're not like together at all, but they had a kid together. There was a lot of controversy around them and their kid with like abuse things. Like I think they had a biological and or an adopted kid. I think they had an adopted kid for sure, and the kid was trying to say some stuff was going down. But
I don't know, but they sold their soul for sure. They reference that
Oh,
shit
yeah.
directly.
yeah, they even made their own music industry. But every so often I'll get home from work and I'm like, you know what? I'm a motherfucking pit bull terrier. So, I just gotta play it, listen to it. I don't remember what song it is, but there's that one guy with his wiener just flailing all around.
Evil Boy.
Evil Boy.
I know exactly what you're talking about because let me explain how I know that.
All right, I'll give you a minute.
I was in with my friends when I was like 14, and one of our friends put that video on, and we were just sitting there like, what the hell is this? And then I just kind of like it stuck with me over the years. Like that video was funny. Apparently it's about like it's anti-circumcision. So the more you know.
Yeah, and I'm actually gonna look this up real quick just to make sure I'm right, because now that I think about it, I think Evil Boy was a different song. What? That one was about the circumcision?
Yeah.
There was one where it's like a Evil Boy, why you gotta be so mean? Something like that. Wow, that's really gonna kill me now that I can't think about it.
They have another song called Ugly Boy.
Ugly Boy, that's what I'm thinking about. It has Jack Black in it.
Yeah, that's
it has
Ugly
a lot
Boy.
of popular artists in it. Yeah, I think I definitely listen to Ugly Boy instead of Evil Boy a lot more. But I do fantasize about Evil Boy a lot more. Anywho, Blue October. Oh, yep. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. That's kind of an old band.
I like them.
But obviously they're a big old classic. Tom Petty, he's sadly gone now. But he had a lot of popular songs. He did solo stuff. He did it with his band, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Good old 60s, 70s rock.
Yeah, they only lasted so long. But you got songs like Freefallin', Wildflowers, Mary Jane's Last Dance. It's just Running Down a Dream. That's a big popular one. And it's definitely fits into the like 70s era that he was making them. And I was heartbroken to learn that he passed away, because even though I wasn't raised with him, the older I got, I definitely took to his music very, very hard.
Yeah, he had some good tracks.
Yeah, he did. So that kind of just, leads me into music back then in the 70s. We did a fun fact, by the way, in case you didn't hear our CIA podcast episode. The 70s was basically influenced by the government through LSD and using the Grateful Dead as a big reference point for them as well, to help push that whole like hippie era. But Tom Petty definitely plays into it very well. But I want to talk about what music was like back then, back to like the 1900s, as far back as the 1900s compared to today. So I just want to let you know, CH, according to the rateyourmusic.com website, in the 1900s, and I believe in the 1910s as well, the number one genre was actually ragtime music. 1920s was more like Dixieland music, blues, kind of like jazz.
Gotten into blues a lot over the years.
Yep.
They heavily influence. Yeah, they heavily influence rock music, and that's generally what I listen to. Like, blues has influenced rock more than any other like genre. So I listen to like B.B. King. He's real good. Howlin' Wolf. I think Howlin' Wolf is my favorite. I really like B.B. King.
He's popular.
Yeah, Howlin' Wolf is good. I listen to like a couple of different random artists here and there. It's just like I mainly like the cowboy blues. I mean, I listen to like some of the older stuff, like I said, B.B. King and Howlin' Wolf, but like I really like the
blues,
like
traditional.
Well, it's like outlaw blues, I think is the name for it. Like that type of blues music is just badass. Like I just want to put on a cowboy hat, put a dip in my lip, get on my motorcycle and just drive.
Well, I hate to ruin that moment, because in the 1930s, swing music actually took the storm.
What the hell is that?
Vocal jazz being number 2. So, swing music is actually, according to my notes, it's a style of jazz that became popular in the 1920s and early 30s. It basically is known for like the offbeat or normally weaker beat. That's like from what I understand, you go back and you see like movies based back in the old days, 1930s. They're like boogieing around, swinging each other around, spinning, and all that stuff. That's pretty much swing music, just good old boogieing music.
You ever hear that old blues music, or like I guess it was the first generation of rap music where they're just like snapping their fingers and like rhyming really fast is like the very first.
Yep. Yeah, that one's a good one. In the 1940s, jazz is actually keeping up in the lead because vocal jazz is the 1940s. So jazz is usually paired with, not paired with vocals, usually just instrumental. But the 1940s decided that was the end of an era because 1940s was led by the vocal jazz. Hard bop was the 1950s winner, and there's actually a lot of like influential there we go artists that you kind of hear of today. And basically hard bop is like bebop music, basically another form of jazz, but it's like a mix of blues, gospel. This usually has like a saxophone and piano playing. Art Blakey, Miles Davis, John Coltrane, they're all big popular leaders of the hard bop era. Time to get into more familiar territory, which would be led by pop rock in the 1960s. What's one big band in the 1960s that took the world by storm? I'll give you hints, Gage. They're an England-based band.
Dude, that could be like anybody.
Yeah. Well, they were known for their bowl cuts. There was a group of
the Rolling Stones or the Beatles. One of the others. Yeah.
The Rolling Stones is a good mention, though. Definitely can't leave those guys out. Beatles took the world by storm, leading with the pop rock in the 1960s. But personally, I'm gonna be honest, I really did try to get into the Beatles. I really did.
Never heard a song by them.
I was the same way, and I checked out like 2 to 3 of them, and I can't, man. I really can't. It's heartbreaking. I could definitely fit more into the 1970s progressive rock. Pink Floyd is a big leader of that one. Of course, everybody knows Pink Floyd. But from what I believe, CH, even though they're popular, you're not too big of a fan of Pink Floyd.
I think they're overrated too. That's definitely an unpopular opinion, especially from the hippie era. The only reason people like Pink Floyd so much, if you ask me, is because that was all that was on the radio when they were tripping balls in Woodstock. And that just ingrains a memory in you that you relate every time you hear a Pink Floyd song. You go back to that moment where you were having a lot of fun. And if you ask me, that's the only reason that Pink Floyd was so popular. I mean, they have some good songs. I really love Wish You Were Here. I like Brick in the Wall, that whole album. Yeah, but they're just, I don't know, they're overrated. Like, people say that they're like the best band that ever was, and it's like, I don't know about that.
They're definitely more revolutionary than they are
like they're not bad.
Consistent. I do enjoy their music, but I can't say it's consistent through their songs.
Yeah, they're not bad by any means. It's just like people say that they are the greatest band ever, and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree on that one.
Yeah, I can't agree with that one. The singer's pretty good, and a singer I also enjoy is Stevie Nicks from the band Fleetwood Mac. That's another popular 1970s band. The Rolling Stones, as we mentioned earlier. Lynyrd Skynyrd, since 1964, has led the 1970s. You got Black Sabbath, I hope I said that right the first time, with Ozzy Osbourne, and Eagles. And a band I never really listened to was The Who. And I've heard about them multiple times. I've heard people talk about them, but I never actually listened to The Who, which I believe is another English rock band. So I don't know if you have any experience with The Who, but I don't really have any.
No, I haven't heard of The Who actually
at all. I think that my first exposure to them was in Rock Band. But Progressive rock, it's progressive. It helped influence rock. It's something good to trip to, 70s hippie eras. They definitely loved it. And I think it stuck pretty well to this day. Post-punk, actually, we're kind of leading off of the jazz. It's good. It's cool. Or blues, mixed music. It's cool that you said it actually influenced rock, because rock definitely made it stand. So the 1980s is like the post-punk. You got Guns N' Roses, you got Metallica, REM, U2, The Cure, Bon Jovi, Motley Crue. These are a lot of the Scorpions. These are a lot of bands that obviously you've heard more than likely your dad listened to. This is like your grandpa's divorce music, I guess, depending on how old you are compared to like your dad's divorce music. Just because
dad rock for our generation is like Cold and like Crossfade
and Stained,
yeah.
That's revolutionary in the dad world. Foreigners
and Nickelback.
And an honorable mention in the 1980s as well, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. But I definitely like them. I also love Metallica. I actually saw them in concert. They were the only band that played. They were opened by a comedian. But it definitely was a cool experience that my stepdad, when I first was meeting him, took me to. 1990s. If you honestly, you could probably take a guess at this one. Alternative rock. Green Day, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Radiohead, Soundgarden, Weezer, Oasis. CH, we actually got to mention Oasis later because they, kind of have a one-hit wonder song.
Yeah, pretty much. That was like my one-hit wonder that I was going to mention, is because you can't really name, unless you are an avid listener to them. If the majority of people, everybody knows Oasis for Wonderwall, but that's it. Like, you name another song by Oasis. Do it. Prove me wrong. Name another song without looking it up. No one can.
You got bands like Sublime, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, Foo Fighters. You got Stone Temple Pilots, Destiny's Child, Rage Against the Machine. All of these bands are very, very, very popular today, especially because social media. TikTok loves to use the audios. I definitely hear a lot of these. The Offspring, I hear a lot of the Offspring, but I enjoy the Offspring. Offspring is another good example of his voice is all right. His voice isn't the best, but full send all the way. When he sings, he's putting all his faith into it. Foo Fighters, who actually came out with another album recently. I do enjoy some Foo Fighters.
I really like Dave Grohl. He's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, he is. Sad that their drummer passed away.
Yeah.
But 2000s, like I said, rock has definitely made its footprint in the music world because indie rock is the 2000s winner with bands like Blink-182. You got bands Linkin Park. We all love Linkin Park.
Yep.
Sad what happened. And unfortunately, they had a very tragic end. We got Nickelback, Kings of Leon, which honestly I know 2 songs of them. So
all of them were about sex.
Yep.
That's it.
And how it was on fire. It also burns on IP. That's also on fire. Got bands like Slipknot, Avenged Sevenfold, Incubus, Snow Patrol, the White Stripes, which really was relevant around Battlefield 1, I believe.
Yeah.
Seven Nation Army.
Yeah. And old Iggy Thump.
Yep.
With the bagpipes. You want to know something real quick about that I personally feel about Slipknot? I like Stone Sour better than Slipknot. I think that Corey Taylor's voice works better in Stone Sour. And I mean, Slipknot's a great band too, but I'm not really into that ridiculously heavy type stuff, and the majority of their stuff is just really heavy. I'm just I would say that Slipknot's more like metal, and Stone Sour is more like rock, hard rock. I like Stone Sour way better, but that's just me personally.
I gotta say I prefer Slipknot a lot more. I definitely like more of that heavier music. I know you and I have personally talked about that before, but with the heavier music, especially Slipknot, I just love rocking my head back and forth like I'm a Pez dispenser. I just love my neck hanging on by a thread by the time I'm done. rocking it back and forth.
Corey Taylor's son
Nick-
actually has his own band now. Did you know that?
I did not know that. I do know that Billy Joe Armstrong has his son has a band as well known as the Weathers. But All American Rejects is a big one. They got a few popular songs, but
Are they the ones that made "Give You Hell"?
yeah, I was gonna say I think they can like be a contender for a one-hit wonder, but I'm not gonna give that to them just because they do have a couple more popular songs. Fall Out Boys, definitely not a one-hit wonder. Fall Out Boys started 2001, and they outlived Panic at the Disco. But I don't know which year Panic at the Disco started, but I always kind of associated the two bands for some reason. And so that was like the that was the 2000s. It actually kind of leads into the 2010s, but the 2010s is kind of like a bit of muddled water. So like indie rock definitely is like a winner in the 2010s, but it also goes back to all the different subgenres of hip hop and alternative rock, progressive metal. So to say that indie rock like won 2010s, I guess I technically am not correct, because there's just so many different genres of music, and this is kind of what the people voted for most of indie rock. But I definitely don't think indie rock was like way above all the other bands. One band that I'm thinking of now that we actually didn't mention that I think is incredible is Disturbed. Disturbed is amazing.
I like them, man.
Their Sound of Silence song is incredible. But yeah, they're pretty good. My Chemical Romance, they broke up, they came back, they broke up, they came back. So yeah, My Chemical Romance, I don't know what they're doing, but I kind of like dabbled in a little bit of mentioning the one-hit wonders. So I kind of want to get into that, kind of lead into that. And obviously they're one-hit wonders, so everybody knows these songs. You've definitely heard it from somewhere, either video. If you don't recognize it, you'll recognize the audio. Take On Me by a-ha. Take On Me is a very, very, very big one-hit wonder.
There was a meme about it not too long ago.
Yeah, and Family Guy even had an episode of it where Chris is like, they're at a grocery store and they're looking at like the dairy on the shelves and stuff, and all of a sudden Chris is grabbed in and pulled through, and it has like the whole animation. Kind of wild. Africa by Toto also definitely became a huge meme. And at a certain point you could argue that these are one-hit wonders because they're so memeable as well. They just are able to be put into a lot of things, and so obviously if it's a meme, social media is going to love it. It's going to be spreading through like wildfire. Back to Oasis, Wonderwall. CH already pointed it out. Once again, just to make sure, CH, name me one other song by Oasis.
Can't. I literally can't. I just looked at their Spotify 10 minutes ago and I can't.
My programming will actually prevent me from naming any more songs. I know every single song by Oasis to date, but my head will implode on itself.
It ain't very hard to be their biggest fan.
No, it isn't.
You're like
Especially because my program lets me. But yeah, so if I mention it, my head will implode.
No offense to
Ice
people like
Baby.
Oasis, by the way. We're just going around.
Yeah. Yep. This is us talking, And of course, we'd love to hear your opinions on comments below. We even ask questions on Spotify, so when you guys check us out on Spotify, please answer those too, because we want to interact with you guys, get an experience of what's going on. So, Ice Baby by Vanilla Ice. And a fun fact about Vanilla Ice is he didn't really accept that he was a one-hit wonder. I don't know if you've heard anything about that.
Not really.
No. So I remember watching this video of people that were one-hit wonders, like MC Hammer, I think was one of them. Of basically Soulja Boy is a good
he was
example
for
as
sure.
well.
I did really like his Rick and Morty song though.
I gotta check that out. I'm not too sure I heard it, but They are top of the game. Their music is number one number one in the charts. Everybody knows them. Everybody listens to them. Everybody loves the song. And then after a while, it fades out of time. The artists don't really seem to recognize that they fell out of time because Ice Ice Baby, the creator of that, Vanilla Ice, has actually gotten in quite a bit of legal trouble, kicked out of parties and events, and he's basically being made fun of on social media because he's basically a guy living in the 90s era. Keep in mind, he has aged throughout the years. He was a grown man when he wrote that song, and he's still trying to ride that 90s vibe, trying to show like, ho, I made Ice Ice Baby, I'm a big popular artist. And a lot of those people actually end up bankrupt too, because their song's not relevant anymore. They don't get income coming in. They don't do anything else. They just relied off of that song.
They actually did a joke about that, and That's My Boy where Vanilla Ice is in it. He's like, I owe money when that shit's played.
That was pretty funny. That's very relevant. That was very, very funny, CH. I'm glad. I'm gonna actually.
Yeah, I made it up myself. I made that whole movie.
That's crazy. I actually remember seeing you in the credits.
Yep.
And you were like the guy in the background.
I actually starred in it too. I played as Adam Sandler, and the dude from Lonely Island. I can't remember his name.
Adam Sandler again. Adam Sandler 2. CH stars as Adam Sandler 1, 2, and 3 in that movie.
Yeah, it's like Medea, but it's me.
Yep, CH. But it doesn't show him in the credits because he doesn't when CH is in a role, he's full send in the role.
Yeah, I gave all credit to Adam Sandler.
He doesn't have a real name
because I was playing as Adam Sandler.
And all those paparazzi photos you see of like big baggy shorts, big long white shirt, that's still CH.
It's all
playing
me.
as Adam Sandler.
That's right.
Adam Sandler, if you're hearing this, obviously you are because you're CH. Hey, what's up? How's it going? And another song that I believe was actually, I got a two-parter here. If I remember correctly, the number one song on YouTube was Gangnam Style by Psy. Gangnam Style by Psy. I remember hearing that in my middle school. Middle schoolers are obsessed with that song. And because middle schoolers are obsessed with it, school dances and events. Yeah, the world was obsessed with it, and school dances were also obsessed with it. I don't know if you've ever heard of any school dances.
No, dude, we played it in my gym, and me and like some of my friends were doing the dance when I was in
They're like,
sixth grade.
whoa, Adam Sandler's dancing. Whoa. Yeah, they're pretty big. I remember being in a school. This is another one-hit wonder that I think about. I don't know who it's by, but we were in a school dance. I think it was the 8th grade spring dance, and all you hear is, I'm in love with the Coco.
Oh, God.
And nobody, I don't think any of the teachers recognized what the song was about, while we're all just like, yeah, I'm in love with the Coco.
It's about baking soda. He says it in the song, idiot.
Oh, well, they're in love with the Coco. Not to mention, nothing actually. I don't have anything to mention. CH, I'm done talking to you.
Hey, God, do me the
kidding.
favor.
Yep, because we could listen to Despacito. If I remember correctly, Despacito was actually the song that knocked Psy out of his number one spot on YouTube. And it's pretty funny because a lot of the song is not in English. And for some reason, us in the USA, we eat that stuff up. They could be saying, death to America, we'll bomb you. Who cares? We hate you guys. All you guys are fat and lazy. And we're over here, like, blaring to it, dancing, having whole raves. Playing it to our kids.
About that.
I remember that. Yeah, that was kind of who I was doing a little bit of reference to that as well.
Talking about the downfall of America. Damn Hollywood hillbillies.
And you're showing it to your kids, your wives. You're supposed to hide your wives and children, but you're exposing them to death of America. So yeah, that was just a couple one-hit wonders that I think were worth mentioning. Somebody that I used to know by Goat Ye. And there's actually a whole thing about him too. People say that he actually disappeared after making that song. And you guys are actually wrong if you say that. And I hope you acknowledge that you're wrong. Okay, I should probably continue adding on to that. He actually did a couple side projects. He actually came out of the music industry, and he wanted to be a director. And he's actually got a couple of movies of his own. Have I checked them out? No, because I only know that song by him, because he's a one-hit wonder. But I'm hoping that they're good movies, and I'm hoping the best for him. So that was overall a wrap-up of a little bit of music talk. Comment below if you guys have any bands that you think we should have mentioned or songs that you think are great. How are your opinions towards us? Do you think that we're wrong?
Probably.
What's your opinions on Adam Sandler?
Yeah, that one's real important.
Yep. So yeah, music overall, we talked about our favorite bands, one-hit wonders.
I'll hit you once and make you wonder.
I won't wonder. Oh no, you do it most of the time.
I know. I'm very abusive.
Yeah, but yeah.
You want me to go get a beer right now? You want? It's over for you.
Yeah, I could hear the belt coming off. But, I am going to ask one last question, just because I kind of wanted to dabble into it a little bit. We're kind of running out of time, so I'll make this fast. But we saw how music evolved throughout the years. We see that rock as a big leader of the industry. We see that hip hop as a big leader in the industry. And even though we're not going to dive into it too much, where do you think music is going to go from here? How can music evolve from what it has evolved already?
AI.
All right, that's it for the CNC podcast.
Yeah, thank you for watching the consent non-consent podcast, because I found out that's what that means. So from now on, we are that's our name
Edit
now.
that part out. Editing.
No.